Hey guys, this is Alex from 4C Trading, and today I am on 1Inch coin. So I got a recommendation for this one from one of our viewers. He actually commented down below and recommended us to check this coin because he actually found a gem. And although I did promise him to do a video about it, I actually already missed the first trade on it, right? It's the most bullish one, or should I say the trade of continuation has already been initiated. So now I'm gonna search for some other opportunities on it, but I'll also show the which one has to hold, which area has to be holds for it to continue on its bullish versus. And due to the fact that why we missed the trade, I will also show another small time frame opportunity to how to get in it from the other perspective, right? So in case you've missed it or you hold in this coin at the moment, you should be very happy about it, right? Because currently it is still bullish, and it's so far we are holding all the right places to continue this bullishness, right? So let's just dwell into it and kind of see what's going on. So first of all, the area for us to really maintain bullishness, or should I say the structure wise for the continuation all the way up to a top where we're gonna be taking a profit take, is currently being held, and this is a good news for you mainly, right? And you can really see what I meant by missing a trade right here, because if we do go lower on the 1 hour time frame, this was the area to hold, a key area to hold for you to continue on its bullishness, right? And we actually did come back to this area and we held it, and you know, right now it is showing signs that it wants to continue, but we'll still see if it will be able to break out, right? So now mostly I could say, you know, going on a really high time frames like a daily, right? If I inspect daily, I'm gonna say this area is still possible to be hit. Yes, we have tested it on a lower time frames, but maybe we are going to test it again on a sense of a daily, right? But if I were to pursue this area right now, I would have to pursue it a little bit higher from the smaller time frame perspective. And this is purely a trade that is aimed towards a continuation of this trend, right? So, you know, most of the things that we already pulled on this one were tested, but this is the only one that you can actually do. And, you know, you kind of do get a lower stop loss while you're at it, but it's also, you know, it drops on the levels of safetiness, right? So if the Bitcoin is going to be shaky in the next couple of days, you know, this can easily stop you out. It can weak down to something like this, right? And, you know, close back in, and then it continues, right? That's the main issue when you're indulging into these scalps. But the problem is, you know, we missed it, can't do anything at it, and now we can only find secondary entry to it if we wish to play it, or we just simply skip it and we wait for safer plays. And I'll show one play after this one as well that is going to be more oriented towards a safe side, right? So yeah, we're buying right down the middle with the stop loss on about 3.7%, it's almost 4%, right? And you can see our buy is mostly at $1.8 and stop loss being on under $1.7. Dude, now we are gonna be, I know I was aiming when I started this video for something on top of the here, but we're not gonna be aiming that just yet. We're gonna be aiming actually at this local top before, because our stop loss is small to begin with. Our R is pretty good at this point, and we don't actually know if this first area is going to break. So, you know, better be better be safer than sorry, right? We will just take the TP at this first profit take right here, and you can already see that we are at 11% or 2.9 R or $2 profit take, right? So yeah, it's not the biggest profit take that we've ever taken, right? But it's also not the smallest one either, you know. And it's since we are under 50% probability of winning this trade, 3R is at the end of the day a very nice trade indeed. So I'm going to assume if that happens, if this TP is hit, we're going to continue on the bullish case on the 1Inch token, right? And during that, taking that into effect, I will go over to a daily time frame. Actually, I will go over to a 4-hourly time frame because it's a little bit better to see where the TP is, and we can already see there's a fine gap between the top and the bottom created swing point, right? So when we created the top, you know, we made a couple of SFPs on the top that failed and started closing back down. And after this closed down, we did do another trial, you know, to test the top and possibly break it, but we failed it and then ended all the way back here. And this gap that we have created between the top and this, let me just delete a little bit. And this gap that we have created between the top and this swing point that tried to essentially test the top, break it and continue with bullishness, but essentially failed, is a very good TP point to start with, right? And you can see though, if that does indeed happen, and if our little scalp chooses to, you know, hold this position, you can see that yes, we will be actually making a little bit more money onto it, because our R would indeed be 8.5% or 31% on the entire coin move, or $2.4, right? So our TP target would actually be a little bit better with the scalp option, right? This is why I sometimes do prefer doing these scalps over the main trades, because if I did a main trade, I would most likely be using the stop loss down below, and that stop loss would result, as you can see, in a 7% stop loss. So we basically double our stop loss with the main trade on it, right? But putting that into perspective, you also need to remember that this trade that we currently bounce already off is way safer opportunity than one we are currently indulging it, right? And you can see, yes, I mean, if this is managed to be hit, so far it has all the options to be hit. We are holding the right areas to continue on its bullishness, so I don't see any problems with it if this comes there in the future. Although now I will explore a secondary option, and in this case is gonna be a safer option. So I've deleted the entire chart to really focus on this one now. Now this secondary option is gonna be, since we already now analyzed a bullish area that is perfectly for continuation of the trend, we're now gonna seek a safer option. So the safer option is mostly, we're mostly gonna be targeting that this now has been the top of the trend. The idea behind this, that this was now the top of the trend, that we are gonna fail here and going to start closing underneath this area, retesting a little bit deeper. In that case, the next retest, or the next most important area on this chart, would be located right down here. And this is actually, even though this is much harder to flip the entire chart bullish, so which means if we start to close down here, we have much harder way of closing back above than we do from the current stance. But still, if you do manage to do something like this, it's still a very good trade to begin with. We do have to remember, you know, that we are still collecting a lot of the percentages on the retracements, right? So now I'm going to delete these lines and going a little bit back under to see the entry for this coin, and we are going to be entering right down the middle as always. And most likely when we're going to be accumulating, choosing the stop loss, it's gonna be around this area. So we're going to be keeping it all around this area, just a little bit under it, so it doesn't, if it manages to peak out, so that we don't get stopped. So yes, and this stop loss, as you can see right now, it's about 3 times bigger as the one we currently had for our bullish scenario. But still, nonetheless, a reaction that we can get from this one is nothing shy of, amazing, right? So yes, our first profit take is going to be located at the mainest area that we currently held for our trade right here, right? So that area is gonna net you about 1.8 R or 21%, 1.8 R or $1.6, right? So it's not the most amazing profit take, as I already stated, but you know, 20% at the end of the day is still 20%, and it is a plentiful for a first profit take, right? The secondary profit take, we are going to aim it at the very top of the current structure, as we already did once before, and this is now going to be a really important one, right? Because we are either going to come all the way up here from here all the way up here and reject it, and thus, you know, start moving down again. If we fail to hold this, we're gonna go down to the entry and most likely lose the entry and go lower. That would be the logic, right? But if we do manage to hold this and do another retrial, then on that retrial we absolutely have to break it in order to go higher. So you do have to mind this, that yes, our chances of continuing the bull run is much smaller, but also not impossible, right? So the secondary profit take is then looking at us at 48%, 4.17 R or almost $2, right? You can pretty much stretch it a little bit to $2, but you know, I usually take them on the bottom side just to be a little bit safe, right? And the last profit take, which is definitely we have to let something go for a little bit of a runner. We already stated it's all the way up here, and wait, I can make it a little bit higher actually. Yeah, so it's all the way up here, and you can already know a runner right here at this moment. You know, you have again 2 options. You can take everything off at secondary profit take, and if the chart breaks, you can refill it at exactly almost the same entry that you've exited on the profit take, right? But you can also leave like a 10 to 15%, maybe 20% at max, I would say, of the position left, and you know, just take it all the way to up there, And if you do choose to do that, in that case you would be getting 88%, $2.5, or you know, at the end of the day 7.6R. But you already know that I usually prefer to play it like this: take everything off here once it breaks out, take it back, refill it back on retest, and then I have much safer chances of me actually knowing that we are going to be hitting that third profit take to begin with. You know, I did do the system where I left 10 to 50% for a runner, and usually, you know, what I found out from my personal personal research, that most of the time I just left a lot of money on the table, and I was getting stopped, you know, much lower, usually at the first profit take again. So I, you know, just essentially found out that I'm banking a lot less money, you know, by just not taking everything off at secondary profiting and actually carrying up the third profit take. But you know, third profit take is not always the same time, right? You have to have structures where third profit take is actually just following the trend, and those structures are pretty much fine. But if it comes to something like this, when you actually lose a bullish area, you go down, test a little bit of a less bullish area, and then you're trying to regain these areas, right? That if you do choose to take a bigger profit takes at those areas that are key to break for you to continue with your bullish trend, then you most likely will see that you'll reject them at first try a lot of times, and then sometimes you even break down and you actually do leave a lot of money on the table for no apparent reason, right? So yes guys, this would pretty much be it for 1Inch. I do hope you've enjoyed this kind of videos, guys. Do subscribe, share to your friends, you know, comment down below. We do take your comments in consideration, and sometimes we do analysis on them if I do see opportunities on the given coins, right? And also don't forget us to watch us at, you know, join us at live stream, which is going to be held tomorrow. Well, today actually, when this live stream is uploaded, it's going to be 4 p.m. UTC time. So most welcome to join at our channel, and also join us at 4C community channel, where we discussed, you know, trades like this, stop losses, or you know, Bitcoin analysis or Ethereum analysis on daily manner. So thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.